Welcome to The Money Hour with host Tina Mitchell and co-host Keelan Harvey. Tina Mitchell, MLO 145420, and Keelan Harvey, MLO 1330075, are licensed loan originators with Gateway Mortgage Group, LLC, and MLS 7233. The views expressed by the speakers on the following program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views of Gateway Mortgage Group, LLC, nor are they necessarily endorsed by Gateway Mortgage Group, LLC. Now, in the studio, local mortgage experts Tina Mitchell and Keelan Harvey.
Welcome to the Money Hour at 11:50 a.m. KKNW, the Saturday, March 23rd show. I am your host, Tina Mitchell.
And your co-host, Keelan Harvey.
Your local mortgage experts bring in expert advice and inside knowledge on today's events in our local economy and how it'll affect your money. If you're hearing our show at a different time or day, you are listening to a rebroadcast, but we're here to answer any questions or connect you with the guests that we have on the show. Please call the show at 1-855-400-1150 or online at themoneyhour.com. Again, that's 1-855-400-1150 or online at themoneyhour.com. And for today's lineup, we have Amy Morrison with Compass. Is the market hot or cold? Also in studio, we have Michael Abrahamson with Rainier Title, more than your average title rep. And last guest in studio, we have Marcel Allen with Dreamosity, how to elevate your digital influence. I am so excited, Keelan. We have great guests on today's show, great information as we always do. And if you're listening and you have questions for our amazing guests, please feel free to call the show at 1-855-400-1150. Again, that's 1-855-400-1150 or online at themoneyhour.com. And we'd like to start out each show with a little bit of money chat.
Money.
So I know each morning we kind of think about what we want to bring in and chat about, whether it's something personal that's happening in our life or some personal experience that we've had that might help others. And Keelan, I was talking with you this morning and what you were going to share and thought, yeah, it's powerful stuff.
Well, Tina,
maybe somebody else can learn and avoid this craziness.
It's kind of it's pocket judgments, and can I change my mind? I want to change my mind. I want to keep it happy.
We're not going to talk about
no pocket judgments.
Well, you guys are going to have to wait until next show. That's a good what do you call that when yes, I lost my train of thought, but you'll just have to tune in next week to hear about that.
To pocket judgments. Yeah. It's really scary.
So what are you going to talk
depressing.
About during Money Chat?
I thought I would talk about this invitation I got recently in Canada. So as everybody knows, I talk a lot about soccer. Mm-hmm. I'm like recovering from injuries professionally, it seems at this point. But I think the problem is I just come out and play this high level Division I like once or twice. Recently pulled a groin muscle, got all depressed about it, and I was like, maybe I'm just old and I need to hang up the boots and just getting too old. And then
you're a lot younger than I am, and you always will be. So stop saying that.
Well, for a soccer player's career, I'm an old fogey.
Okay, all right,
so,
fair enough.
I don't know if that's politically correct, but. Yeah, so recently I got an invite that I'm going to represent England in an international over 30 tournament in Canada. So
so proud to have you as my co-host.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about it. I'm a little nervous, but like it's just like anything in life. Sometimes when you get a deadline, like you're pushed to so I'm thinking, man, I got to lose some pounds. I got to get back in shape. I got to heal my groin. So when it's all dark and thinking, I'm going to stop, now it's like maybe I'll have this really amazing peak of a career that I could add to my trophy case once and for all. And it's in July, and I'm super excited about it.
That's so great. I'm just not going to talk about what I was going to talk about, which is really awesome. So you'll definitely have to tune in next week. I was going to talk about appraisals, but I want to touch base on what you said, because I am so proud of you, Keelan. And
thank you.
It's just really great to be associated and have such a powerful team. We've got Victoria here that does a lot of magic behind the scenes. We've got Mark back at the office and Lisa back at the office that coordinate our loans. And it's just nice. I think we're all very unique and special in our own way, and just bring a lot of dynamic to the team. And I'm just, I've said it before during Money Chat, but it was an appropriate time. I'm just really proud of what we have. But also I want to make a comment on what you said about, because I have my coaching program, which regular listeners know about that. And it was the why behind it was to help our main business partners, which are real estate agents, in sharing my philosophy of high time management and business efficiency in the spirit of one timing, which we're always what one-timing means is to do something once so you can consider it a one and done. If you're not one-timing, you're doing the same activities multiple times, duplicating your efforts and wasting valuable time. And then it has a ripple effect onto your family, onto your community, and everything else. So it either can be a really good thing or a really bad thing if you're not doing it. And you had mentioned procrastination. And I always say because a lot of us, especially as entrepreneurs, we're perfectionists and feel that everything that we do has to be perfect, when the reality is nothing's going to be perfect. And that's in the spirit of one-timing. And how you eliminate being a perfectionist is you always are committing to doing something else for somebody else, and somebody that is so important that you do not have a connection with personally, because then you can kind of back down and make an excuse why it didn't happen. But somebody that you really respect, that you could not let this person down, because the effect that it's going to have on your business or your reputation is going to be huge. And I mention that because you just said, and you're all these different things that you're thinking about with your health and to make yourself in top shape to get out there and represent this opportunity that you've been given because you deserve it. So do that in everything in life, is commit to whatever you're trying to accomplish, commit to somebody. Very important that you would never let down, because it's going to have an effect on your reputation. And you'll never, perfectionist, it's not an issue, ever. So
Tina,
anyways, there's my money chat today.
Can I add something to that? I was just thinking about this. I should know better. I should know better with what we do and how we think professionally. Isn't it interesting how overnight my mindset changed? And I wasn't cognizant of it, but overnight, just that invite, nothing changed. It's just a tournament. Yeah. But all of a sudden, my career's not over. And, you can't get in great shape at 36. Yeah. And it's just be cognizant and careful of your mindset.
I love that. So true. Love that. All right. So that's our money chat. Coming up next on the Money Hour, we have, is it a hot or cold market? Amy Morrison with Compass right here on 1150 AM KKNW after the short break.
Do you want to sell your home, but you know it's outdated and run down? Are you afraid you won't get the best price out of your house? Maybe you're short on cash to invest in the improvements that you need before you list, or you're unsure what fixes will get you the most bang for your buck. Well, did you know that Compass Real Estate has a concierge program that can pay for your improvements? The concierge program includes things like staging, painting, cabinets, carpet, landscaping, and more. By going with a Compass agent, you can access this program and significantly increase the interest in your home from potential buyers, resulting in a higher price. Talk to Amy Morrison today and find out more about the Compass Concierge Program.
I'm Amy Morrison. Connect with me on social media at Amy Morrison RE on Instagram and Amy Morrison Real Estate on Facebook. Or email me at amy.morrison@compass.com.
You're listening to The Money Hour with your host, Tina Mitchell, and co-host Keelan Harvey on Alternative Talk AM 1150. Now, back to the show with local mortgage experts Tina Mitchell and Keelan Harvey.
Welcome back to the Money Hour on 1150 AM KKNW, the Saturday, March 23rd show. I am your host, Tina Mitchell.
And your co-host, Keelan Harvey.
And it's a great day to talk about money, and that's what the show is all about, how to make money, how to have money so that you can have a better quality of life for you and your family. And if you're listening to our show, if you have questions for the guests that we have on the show, please feel free to call 1-855-400-1150. Again, that's 1-855-400-1150 or online at themoneyhour.com. And in studio right now, we have Amy Morrison with Compass. Is the real estate market a hot market or a cold market? Amy, so excited to have you back in studio. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, it's great to be here. Thanks for inviting me again.
And a little bit about Amy. Amy Morrison is, again, with Compass. Amy is a local gal, grew up in Redmond, and graduated from the UW. She likes working in a variety of areas from Snoqualmie Ridge to Stanwood. Her three girls keep her busy, but when she finds time to herself, she enjoys hiking, skiing, and wake surfing. Amy is passionate about being an advocate for her clients by always watching out for their best interest.
Amy, I'm super excited to have you. We do a lot of business together.
Yeah.
You are an amazing agent. And before we get into this market, I have to say this. So I was thinking about all the reasons you're an amazing agent. And one of these specifically, I was thinking about, we get a lot of pre-approvals and people go out shopping and stuff. You are so good at finding people homes, like these amazing deals in these little pockets that people are just obsessed with, like immediately. And you do it quickly, which I was thinking about that. That's an amazing trait because a lot of times, people get pre-approved and they just kind of float around and just nothing and there's a gift and an art to finding this perfect home. And you got to understand people in and out to be able to strike that emotional chord where they're like, I'm going to make the biggest purchase in my life.
Yeah.
So shout out to that. Just starting out of the gate.
Thank you. Yeah, I think that takes a little bit of skill to be able to read people and to really get an understanding of what they're actually looking for, and then be able to translate that into, let's see these houses, but then when we find the right thing, really helping them feel confident about going forward with it, because confidence is big. So before you were talking about the importance of having a positive mindset, and when you're going into a market, you do need your client, if they're a buyer, to be confident and to have the right kind of mindset. So I get a lot of questions about what is the market doing, and it's important that I give them answers coming from and support it with a lot of data to show them this is what's actually going on, and here's how you can feel confident going forward.
I love that. So I'm curious, tell us, is the market hot or cold? Where are we at? There's a lot of confusion out there at this point on what is going on.
And even my higher-ups, all my mentors are also kind of like, we're not sure what's going on. But what I can tell you is that the buyer pool is about the same as it was this time last year, and that we have twice as many houses on the market as last year. So just normal supply and demand is going to tell you if you want to sell your house, you're going to have to be a little bit above and beyond what your neighbor is. So depending on the area and the quality of house that you have, it could be hot because, yes, we are seeing multiple offers out there. We're seeing 10 offers, 12 offers on a house. And we thought last summer, we're not going to see that anymore. The market has completely slowed down and what's going on. But now this year again, spring market, if a house is in great condition, it is getting multiple offers again. And yet in the same neighborhood, you could also see a house that's been sitting on the market for 100 days. So it really, it's hot and cold.
And, bringing all the numbers, because, again, data is really great. But depending on where you're at in the nation, they say a balanced market is anywhere from 3 to 6 months of inventory. And we're not at the 3 months of inventory. So we're not at a balanced market, which means that it still is a seller's market. It's just this drastic shift that happens so quickly. But I think it's great news to get more of a normal market. You just like you said, you have to really be strategic in what you're doing. So let's talk about that for your sellers. How are you helping your sellers to navigate through this drastic change in being smart with how they list their home?
So like you said, we still haven't quite normalized to a normal market. And so sellers need to look at this at pricing correctly. So when you come onto market, you need to have an understanding of what other houses in the neighborhood have sold at what prices, what price per square foot they have sold at. But really, you need to kind of put yourself in the buyer's shoes and see what they're looking at. And most people are finding their houses online. So having really great pictures, and that means that your house is in really good condition. It's staged, you've got new painting, new carpet, and everything is perfect, like you said. There's no such thing as perfect, but you want it as turnkey as possible, where somebody can feel like I can just walk in and move right into this. It's ready to go. That is super appealing to buyers. And that's one of the things that gets people to put an offer quickly on a house because they're like, oh, I can do this. Like, this is an easy decision for me. You want to make it as easy as possible for them to fall in love with that property, because this is a big deal and they want to feel like they love it. And our first impression, whether it's us as an expert in our field or it's a house that you're selling, a first impression is online. So you may not get another opportunity. Exactly.
Well, I get to see a lot of the magic on the buying side with you, Amy, and all the amazing things that you do. How do you find these spectacular deals for people in this market, all these buyers? You seem to find just these little great things. It could be price. It could be just the home itself. But how do you find all these little awesome little houses for people to buy?
Well, I'm looking too for the fact that it's in really good condition, and I think that is a key for people wanting to make that decision quickly. And so, when I am looking for my clients online, I'm looking for that, and then I also am making sure that I know exactly what their needs are, so that I can help them answer the questions that are. It's such a personal thing, and they everybody comes with their own background of like where they grew up and what feels like home to them. Those questions are really important to understand so that I can understand what's really the question going on in the back of their mind. So, but how can buyers really like know that it's a great deal? Like if you want to find a deal out there, which is something that a lot of people do, then you actually need to be going to the houses that have really bad pictures and be thinking outside of the box, maybe a different location than you originally thought. Maybe your commute time you want at a certain distance, and you've been thinking about these two cities, and then all of a sudden you're over here to the left a little bit more, and you're in a different city, and that really opens up your choices. So I do a lot of thinking outside the box. Like, you said you want this, but really I think it could be in this zone.
I think they just need to call Amy, is what I think.
They do need to call me. Well, that's why she's here on the show. Exactly. And, in that same content of what you're talking about, make an offer. Go to the ones that are overpriced that nobody else is making an offer ones. The ones that have been listed for way too long that people are like, oh, there's something wrong with that property. Because, there's something wrong. A lot of the times it's because the agent that represent the seller was wrong.
Yes.
And so it doesn't mean that it's a bad house. You'll know when you go see it. But everybody else is deleting those. And so you can go in and get a great deal, right?
Yeah. Well, for example, so I just helped put an offer on a house where it has been on the market for 2.5 years. The seller came on at an unrealistic price, and the condition of the home is not staged, not updated, and my buyers had seen it actually multiple times and passed over it, and we went back to it again this year and came in with a realistic offer and then continued to negotiate until we got the offer done at a price that was significantly less than what it was originally put on the market at.
Isn't that crazy?
See, I tell you, magic. Amy, we were talking the other day, and you had me a little intrigued. So we were talking about real estate trends, and there's these things that come around in homes that you see that come and go. This mid-century modern, make it be granite counters, and just these little things and trends. I'm curious. Tell us about what you're seeing now. Like, what are the trends coming up for homes? And, I mean, this can also help people that are looking to make some improvements on their homes, obviously, if they want to list it. But what are you seeing that's really making an impact?
Yeah. So some of the things that we're kind of continuing to see are things like wide plank wood flooring in warm colors. That's something that makes the home feel high-end. We see it in all the high-end homes, and then when you see it in some of the houses that are less expensive, you just associate it with higher end. So we're still seeing wood flooring as being a really common thing, but also just giving you that kind of luxury feel. Some other things, too, that are important to the buyers out there, especially if they're building their own home, is alternative energy. So you see people are looking for solar. They're looking for green items inside their house. So like their countertops, like their the way that their heating system is, they're going to go for like radiant heat flooring. They're going to go for things that are going to save them money in the long run, but also are good for the environment. So green building is really big right now. And even builders are advertising that as something like this was done green.
And it's interesting, it was a big phase like years ago.
Yeah.
And then you really didn't hear a whole lot, and now it's coming back again.
It definitely is coming back. And I think it's because it actually saves people money in the long run. And people are always looking to, our buyers in this market are super savvy.
Yes.
And they have really high expectations. And so anything that helps them, whether it's a smart home feature or green build, those things are definitely on trend.
So with a seller, most sellers have some type of budget to work with in preparing their house to sell, where they're going to be putting a financial investment into that. And so they want to be able to get the biggest bang for their buck. So what things should they definitely be doing if they're limited on options?
So one thing that I want to tell you about Compass is that we have actually a concierge program where we'll pay for the things that would be helpful in improving your house up front. And then it's huge. Basically like a loan, and then you pay it back at escrow. So Compass fronts the money for that so that you can do the improvements. And the improvements that I'm going to recommend are painting your house, and especially the colors that you pick can make a big difference. There's statistics out there that show there can be like an $8,000 difference in doing the things right versus doing things wrong. So getting your paint colors right, things like light gray and slate and navy in your dining room, all these things make a difference. Things like carpet. When your carpet's in poor condition and someone knows they're going to have to come in and redo the carpet, it's kind of a turnoff. But then also think about smell. We always say the smell test. Like when someone comes in and it just smells new, it's like that new car, new house. It's all appealing to somebody. So carpet, paint, landscaping. So your curb appeal is super important. So getting that curb appeal. Now, things like bathrooms and kitchens are big remodels that take a long time. I don't recommend doing big things like that. But if your countertops are forest green, and they've been forest green since the 90s, like think about switching them out to just a white countertop, and it could make a big difference. So those are the types of improvements that we can do with the concierge program, and things that I just recommend if you're going to be selling your house in the next little while.
What about outdoor spaces, Amy? Like, what about, like people, pools or anything? Does that make a big difference with a pool? Or, like, what should people do to their outdoor space? Is it just kind of clean it up, mow the lawn? Or should they be throwing some pretty good money out and getting some things like, Yeah,
so pools are definitely on trend right now. Like, people want outdoor living space. But they can also be a hazard to selling your house because people don't want to take on the risk of it, and they don't want to take on the maintenance of it.
Expensive.
So if you're going to improve the outside, patios, porches, covered porches, all of that makes a big difference in creating outdoor living space that you can have this extension of square footage out into your backyard. So if you're looking to improve or you're looking to sell, paint your deck, get your patio pressure washed, set it up, like stage it as this bonfire that you can do outside, and that's going to be appealing to the buyer that is out there right now.
Yeah, so true. So take advantage of whatever opportunity that you have in your house to make that more grand.
Yep.
Yes, love that. Amy, thank you so much for coming back in studio with us. It's always a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
And coming up next on the Money Hour, we have more than your average title rep, Michael Abrahamson with Rainier Title, right here at 11:50 a.m. KKNW after this short break.
Do you want to sell your home, but you know it's outdated and run down? Are you afraid you won't get the best price out of your house? Maybe you're short on cash to invest in the improvements that you need before you list, or you're unsure what fixes will get you the most bang for your buck. Well, did you know that Compass Real Estate has a concierge program that can pay for your improvements? The concierge program includes things like staging, painting, cabinets, carpet, landscaping, and more. By going with a Compass agent, you can access this program and significantly increase the interest in your home from potential buyers, resulting in a higher price. Talk to Amy Morrison today and find out more about the Compass Concierge Program.
I'm Amy Morrison. Connect with me on social media at Amy Morrison RE on Instagram and Amy Morrison Real Estate on Facebook. Or email me at amy.morrison@compass.com.
You're listening to The Money Hour with your host, Tina Mitchell, and co-host Keelan Harvey on Alternative Talk AM 1150. Now, back to the show with local mortgage experts Tina Mitchell and Keelan Harvey.
Well, welcome back to the Money Hour at 11:50 a.m. KKNW, the Saturday, March 23rd show. I am your host, Tina Mitchell.
And your co-host, Keelan Harvey.
Your local mortgage experts. We are here to help you build a strong financial blueprint 1 week and one show at a time. If you're hearing our show at a different time or day, you are listening to a rebroadcast, but we're here to answer any questions or connect you with the guests that we have on the show. Please call the show at 1-855-400-1150. Again, that's 1-855-400-1150 or online at themoneyhour.com. In studio right now, we have Michael Abrahamson with Rainier Title, more than your average title rep. Michael, thank you so much for coming back in studio.
Yay, thank you. Thanks for having me.
I wish everybody could just see everything that we're doing in here. Michael's over here waving at Victoria. She's doing a little bit of a live video feed going on.
Well, maybe they can now. This is exciting.
Yeah, I know. It's so exciting. Anyways, I almost forgot. I got to say a little bit about Michael so everybody knows who he is. Michael works with Rainier Title as an account manager. He has been with Rainier Title since 2016, but has been in the real estate business real estate space since 2001. He has an extensive knowledge in real estate, but his true passion is teaching. Michael is a licensed clock hour class instructor and teaches a number of continuing education classes to real estate agents. He is here today to talk about his most popular class, which is Video 201. And in my coaching program that I do for real estate agents, One Time Your Business 8-Week Burn, in week 5, part of the topic is video. And I always introduce all of the agents that are in my course to Michael because he is running on a regular basis an educational program on how to build video. And I got to do a shout out because it's only appropriate. The first time that Michael came into studio to talk about video, he actually did a video which inspired now why Victoria is hanging out in studio with us to do our videos to really bring in some behind the scenes. So, Michael, we love you so much.
Well, Michael, me and Tina obviously know that you're more than an average title rep, but tell our listeners, tell us why you're more than a title rep.
Well, when I come to and meet agents, especially for the first time, that they don't know what a title rep does, or they just think we do happy hours and take people out to lunch, which
they do like
which
that.
is true.
Yeah.
However, we do other things, and we wear many hats. All the way from, I believe we're all marketing specialists because we're always sitting down with agents and showing them how to make more money. We're almost all the reps at Rainier are notaries, so I'm always signing documents, if it's quit claims or power of attorneys, or signing documents for buyers and sellers. I'm doing that a lot. But mostly I'm a teacher, so I like to sit down and teach people how to make more money.
Yeah, which is important because more money, and that's what this show is about as well, so they can have a better quality of life for themselves and for their family. They can get back to their community and all these things that we want to do. You most of the time need to make some money in order to be able to accomplish that. And so helping real estate agents take their business to the next level. I love that. And I want to talk about your average day. But before I have you answer that, one of your videos, which I just love so much, and it's going to sound a little crazy, but it's the truth. It actually brought a little tear to my eye because just opening up behind the scenes and meeting your team and kind of the fun stuff that you do and the serious stuff that you do, and you back at your house on your couch working on your, doing your text messages. So talk a little bit about what you do, what your average day looks like.
Well, what I love about my job...
Because busy.
Right. It is busy, and I really don't have an average... Every day I work is different, and that's why I love it so much. However, it is involved a lot of emails and texting. I do that a lot. But what I'm doing mostly is promoting my video class because I want to bring as many real estate agents into this because I think this is what we're headed towards.
Yes.
Actually, I know this is what we're headed towards. If you're not doing videos now, you are going to be left back in the dust because everyone is going to be doing them. And Facebook and Instagram and YouTube are all telling people that you need to start doing videos.
Yeah.
So,
well, look at Dan at our meeting that we were at this morning and showing, the video of in connecting about home ownership. And I was just showing Keelan, Lady Gaga's, they had a video of her accepting her award and some of the words that she said up on stage and how emotional she was. And that's what's cool about videos because you can really get behind the scenes, you can get into the emotion, you add in music, and yeah, it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the things I teach in my class is you really can't send emotion in an email or a text.
Yes.
But if you see somebody on FaceTime or a video, you can tell how they are.
Yes.
The emotions of them.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, sometimes emails and things can come out, and text can come out of context too, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
You can't really communicate that way. It's just like you say the same thing to two different people, they'll say two different things back or take it a different way possibly. So that's a good thing. And a cool part about that, Michael, is you can get clock hours for this as a real estate agent, which is huge. So you teach your video class. Are there any other classes you teach?
There are. We teach a lot of title and escrow classes, like how to read title and what preliminary is all about, and how to fill out, proper purchase and sale agreement for escrow, things like that. Those are all free classes that we teach. However, the video class does cost something because it doesn't have anything to do with title and escrow. But I'll talk about that a little bit later.
Yep.
But the Video 201 class is the class to take right now.
Yeah. So let's talk about video. A lot of our listeners are real estate professionals. We've got a lot of different business professionals that listen, but we do have a lot of agents. And so talk a little bit about what that video class looks like. What's happening?
So what I do in it is when these real estate agents and loan officers come to this class, they are all afraid. And they're afraid of something. I'll talk about that a little later. However, the class is teaching them how to brand themselves, how to create relationships on social media. It's going to show them how to, what they should be doing and saying on social media, and how to make a video. And we do make videos in the class. People come to this not thinking they're going to have a video or be able to do it. However, we do make a video and post them online during the class. So
and once they've done that, it's kind of removed some of that fear that they may have, because now they did it, and then they start getting likes and comments about, wow, you're really awesome in video.
Yeah, once they see how easy it actually is, because it's very easy, and there's different apps you can use to, if you don't even want to be on the video, there's apps that you can use that just take pictures and make videos out of those pictures and edit it all itself. So it's
but you want to be
easy
on the video. It's not the same without whoever it is. Pretty face rocking who they are on video.
Yes, I tell them that it is best to have them on the video. So people, you want that facial recognition. Yes.
I like how you refer to a brand, too. Anything big, any company that you can think of right now has a brand, and they're very specific about it, not just kind of like all over the board. So that's really cool how you can kind of hone people down to this brand that they need to represent, and not just be Tina's famous oak tree. You hit the giant oak tree all over the place, it'll never come down. But if you strike the same spot, you're going to bring the tree down. So, I mean, that's very important on how you do that. Tell us more, Michael, on how exactly you do that on social media.
So it's easier than people think. I'll go onto people's profiles, and they'll have one thing on their profile, and it's maybe they want to teach education, and then all you ever see from them is education, which isn't a bad thing. But have that be one thing of your brand. I always recommend 3 or 4 things to focus on, and talk about that, make videos of that, text about that, take pictures of that. For instance, mine is my pets, my family, and behind the scenes stuff, and then education. So I focus on 4 things. You're never going to go on any of my social media sites and see me sitting in traffic being angry at the car in front of me. Or I'm not going to be talking about religion or politics. It's going to be those 4 things. So when people think of those 4 things, they're thinking of me.
Love that.
So, and as far as creating the relationships, people don't think you can create relationships online, and you really, really can. And I'm proof of it, because I actually have met and worked with people because of social media, and that's just having conversations with them. When you're on social media, a lot of people will go on there and they'll just give a thumbs up, and they think that's cool that they've done that and that they're actually contributing to building a relationship, and it's really not. You really need to be commenting on them, starting a conversation. And because I'll tell you one thing, if you comment on somebody's social media pictures or texts, I guarantee you they will comment back to you. And just start that conversation with them.
Well, and if you can think, what person have you been following and watching on video that you have never met face to face, but you feel as if you know them to their core? So you can be that same person for other people, that you're sharing and letting them get to know who you are before they've ever had, or maybe they won't have a chance to meet you face to face, but you've made a difference in their life. letting them know who you are over video.
Right.
So what about, let's talk about fear, because it is a big fearful thing for a majority of people to get on video, especially before they've actually done it. It's kind of like coming into studio here. I mean, I can't tell you, Keelan will say every single guest, no matter how awesome you are presenting, public speaker, when you come into studio and you put this headset on and you've got this mic and we've got our engineer, Gary, over here, and now we've got Victoria taking pictures and video, and it's intimidating because it's just something different and new. So what's so fearful about video?
Well, there's a couple of things. The first thing is, it doesn't matter how smart you are. You can come into this class and think you're the dumbest person in the world because they think it takes a rocket scientist to make a video, and it doesn't. The other thing is people are most afraid of being judged.
Yeah.
So they don't want to make videos because they think they're going to look stupid and people are going to judge them. I actually had a agent in one of my classes who said, if I put this video on my Facebook page, every friend of mine's going to defriend me. Oh, that's what she said. She was that fearful. Oh. And once she put it on there.
And she's a real estate agent that's face to face with people every day.
Right.
Isn't that that's just so surprising, but true.
But once she put it on there and she saw, it was just all positive, and she just lit up and was smiles and was so excited, and now she does videos all the time. So
love that.
It's exciting.
Mike, when somebody like that comes into your class, I mean, super fearful, obviously, and has this preconceived notion of what it will be like, right? How do you get these people over those fears and just get them doing some videos and having fun?
It's a great question, because it did take me a few classes to learn how to have them overcome that fear. So I added some things to the class, and just getting them comfortable with who they are. And I started off with having them FaceTime someone so they can see somebody and talk to them on the phone. Yeah. And then after that, we go live on Facebook. I mean, it's things that they've never done before. So I'll have them go live for a couple minutes. Even if they don't know what they're going to say, it's a lot of fun, and they can see that it's fun and it's not hard at all. And then after that, we just go right into making a video. And I mean, that really overcomes their fear because they see it's not that hard.
Yeah. Yeah. Just like I said earlier, that make a commitment to somebody that you're going to do something, you're going to do it. You just force that commitment because it's part of the class.
Well, this is true. At the beginning of the class, I make everyone stand up and they do the agreements, and one of the agreements is to participate. So I always throw that in there.
Do you ever have walk them out? They walk out and go, okay, no, I'm not going to do that today.
They won't walk out. However, once they see everyone else doing it, they'll do it. They'll start doing it.
Yeah, right? Of course.
They don't want to be left out.
No, definitely not. So why are you so passionate about video? Where did that come from? Out of all the classes that you teach, and you can provide clock hours and all these different things, why video?
Well, the biggest reason is because it's a lot of fun.
Yes.
I love to have fun, and title and escrow's okay to talk about, but it's not much fun.
Yeah.
Video's a lot of fun. And this class is very participatory, meaning the agents and the loan officers and whoever else is in the classes are all participating. They're all having a good time. They're helping each other. And I learn a lot, too, at these classes. Every class I give on this video, I learn more and more about social media and more about how to edit my videos. So it's just a great passion of mine. I love it.
I love that. Two comments I want to make on that, because whether you're Michael in the title business, where his client is real estate agents and mortgage professionals, or any other industry that you're in, it's all about getting connected. So what can you do to get connected and help people grow their business and grow their finances? So it's just a really sweet spot to be in. And I love, too, how you say, because it's so true, when you are teaching, you become better. Naturally, you're bettering your craft. And so getting out there. So find what you can teach, which will continue to better your craft, build those relationships.
Well, Michael, you got us all fired up. For all those agents out there, video is hugely important for your business. And what a better guy to teach you how to do it than Michael. What are some dates and some classes and coming up, and how do people get signed up, and how do they get connected with you?
Perfect. So I'm teaching this Video 201 class on the second Thursday of every month till the end of this year. And it's going to be at the Masters Builders Association in Bellevue. The way you can sign up for it is at www.rainiertitle.com under the education page, or you can call me direct at 425-518-3044, and I will get you signed up, and all you got to do is show up with your phone.
Love it. Michael, thank you so much for coming back in studio, and look forward to having you back again real soon.
Thank you.
Coming up next on the Money Hour, how to elevate your digital influence Marcel Allen with Dreamosity, right here at 1150 a.m. KKNW after this short break.
Do you want to sell your home, but you know it's outdated and run down? Are you afraid you won't get the best price out of your house? Maybe you're short on cash to invest in the improvements that you need before you list, or you're unsure what fixes will get you the most bang for your buck. Well, did you know that Compass Real Estate has a concierge program that can pay for your improvements? The concierge program includes things like staging, painting, cabinets, carpet, landscaping, and more. By going with a Compass agent, you can access this program and significantly increase the interest in your home from potential buyers, resulting in a higher price. Talk to Amy Morrison today and find out more about the Compass Concierge Program.
I'm Amy Morrison. Connect with me on social media at Amy Morrison RE on Instagram and Amy Morrison Real Estate on Facebook. Or email me at amy.morrison@compass.com.
You're listening to The Money Hour with your host, Tina Mitchell, and co-host Keelan Harvey on Alternative Talk AM 1150. Now, back to the show with local mortgage experts Tina Mitchell and Keelan Harvey.
Welcome back to the Money Hour on 1150 AM KKNW, the Saturday, March 23rd show. I am your host, Tina Mitchell.
And your co-host, Keelan Harvey.
Your local mortgage experts. We bring into studio each week the best of the best in all areas regarding your financing and everything regarding your money. If you're hearing our show at a different time or day, you are listening to a rebroadcast, but we're here to answer any questions or connect you with the guests that we have on the show. Please call the show at 1-855-400-1150. Again, that's 1-855-400-1150 or online at themoneyhour.com. And in studio right now, Marcel Allen with Dreamosity, how to elevate your digital influence. Marcel, thank you for coming back in studio. We have all of our regular contributors that are here today.
Thank you so much for having me. It's an honor to be back.
Love it. And a little bit about Marcel. She is author of Financial Joy, and I'm so excited she actually brought us her book,
Yes.
Victoria. Financial Joy, local social media manager and laughter coach. Oh my gosh, I love that. We all need some laughter. She motivates authors, artists, and achievers to get curious and confident about their financial situation while leveraging social media to grow their business. She supports others in understanding the patterns of their sales system, marketing efforts, and financial results. She helps clients with marketing, advertising, and is the creative force behind her consulting agency, Dreamosity. Marcel is also the co-owner of Laugh Tech, where she trains folks to be more memorable and humorous when developing content for their online campaigns. She wants everyone to realize that the minute you start to use video, here's video again, you've now entered the entertainment industry.
Love it. Marcel, let's start out with just let's start with a success story with Financial Joy. Tell us about it. Give us some boots on the street stories here. What's up?
Thank you. Well, it's published now, and the other night at a comedy show, I was talking to a local. He's a real estate agent and a comedian, and he's like, "Hey, what's new?" I'm like, "Well, I sold 50 books, right? My first 50," and he was like, "Hey, that's awesome. What's the book about?" So I tell him about the snail, the ostrich, and the seagull, and how the seagull is not afraid to ask for the sale. So just last week, he calls me and he's like, "Hey, Marcel, I asked for the order. I was at this open house and I was having this conversation with the guy, and he was like, he could have just totally kept having a conversation. And he had that moment where my voice was in the back of his head. He was like, mine. How do I get this guy? So he asked for the sale, and it was an $18,000 commission.
Wow.
So I'm just thrilled for him because it's like, I don't know.
So I always say the task is to ask.
Yeah, the task is to ask.
Worst case, you get a no. So you talk in your book about the ostrich, the snail, and the seagull. How does each of these show up with people in their business?
Yeah, so the snail is someone who's slow and steady. Maybe they're underproducing. Maybe they haven't even thought about video yet, or they want to, but they're afraid to do it. And they're not very aggressive, or they're not having fun yet, and they haven't learned how it's fun. And then the ostrich is bold, they're dynamic, they're excitable, they're very just fun to listen to, but their head might be in the sand, and they're not paying attention to the numbers. They're not looking at their bank statement. They don't know the credit score. They don't know how to qualify. Like, they're just kind of oblivious to how many views they got in their video even. And then the The seagull is someone, or an eagle, as Keelan liked to say, is someone who's confident in the marketplace, not afraid to say mine, right? And to go for the ask. So they're out there, they're running their territory, they're getting good checks, they're confident, and they're having fun with it.
Yeah.
So it's really fun when people realize that they get to choose who they're being. And it's okay to have a day where you're like, I want to be a snail. Like,
Yes.
I'm just going to chill. Like, that's okay, you know?
Yeah. As long as you're intentionally doing it. Yeah.
And it's good to at least know what you are, right? At least be honest with yourself so you can say, okay, I'm a snail today, but guess what? Tomorrow I'm going to be a seagull.
Yeah.
And then you go out and $18,000 could have walked out of that person's life and they would have never have known the difference if they didn't ask.
Yeah, and I think money does walk away from majority of us because it's really hard sometimes to, to ask.
Sometimes people just want what's the next action, right? And they just walk away like, it's kind of awkward. Maybe we'll just let it go. So that's really good. Let's talk about spreadsheets. So they're pretty common for tracking financial joy.
What a transition.
Yeah, that's pretty abrupt, wasn't it? Why are we proposing an entirely new model in financial joy? And I previously being a financial advisor, numbers are important, people. Figure out where you're at. How do you even know what's going on if you don't know your numbers? And spreadsheets are obviously very valuable. Tell us more about it.
Exactly. So spreadsheets are great. They were started in 1979 by a man, made popular in the 1985, and they're great for counting and measuring and calculating in data, but they're really bad teachers and they're not fun, right? So when it comes to a lot of my clients in the past, getting them to make the connection between the video, between the marketing and the result, it's not fun to look at the P&L statement, right? So I made a more kind of a circular cash flow model where it's almost like a wreath or like a 30-day calendar in a circle. So people can understand that each day as they're networking and planting seeds, and then they can start again. So for the snail, it's like you don't just have one bad deal and then like wait 10 days to go do something. It's like you need to get back out there.
Yeah.
And so it's a different way to visualize cash flow, and then it's just a lot more fun and social. So for especially my female clients, it's way more fun. It's got that spatial component, and it's a lot more exciting to talk about.
Yeah.
And you guys know I talk about the data dropper, and it kind of pulls them out of their, like, they're not afraid to talk about it if they get to create or draw or doodle the data. So.
Yes. So let's talk about the connection between financial joy and producing video.
Yeah. So this is where I've been doing my meetup, Developing Digital You, for 10 years now, and I've been preaching video for a long time. And I hadn't been making the connection. And so on this diagram here, that only Victoria can see, the social audience matrix, I talk about, people who are rookie, JV, AA, all the way up to an MVP, right? So kind of a baseball metaphor. And then measuring audience size anywhere from 0 to 100 to 1,000, 10,000, 100,000, or a million. And you can have a video that goes viral, but it doesn't necessarily pay the bills. Or you might not, like, you could have, only 100 fans and still be a millionaire. So it's not necessarily a profitability matrix, but what I realize is with financial joy, the cash flow circle, or that ring, as you're growing your audience and as you're getting in front of 100 people, 200 people, 500 people, you need to keep, there's a connection between exposure and closing deals. And if you're just getting exposure and you have nothing to sell, you're in trouble, right? And if you're selling to only the same 20 people over and over and over, like, eventually you're out of, like, you need more leads, you need more people. So video helps us expand our network. But at the same time, if you're great on video and you don't have an offer, you're kind of in the wrong place. So I'm just excited because I've been talking about video for so long, and then to see that there's got to be that track that they keep running on. Like, you still need to pay attention to your sales activities, not just the fun and excitement with video.
Yeah.
And you never know. You might go viral, like do a little funny dance like the Backpack Kid. And now you're like literally, you have a dance for a living. That's what you do.
But then Marcel's going to show you actually how to make money out of that.
But how do you make money out of that and monetize it? So
that's why they need to call Marcel, and she'll tell him, get him hooked up.
We get Backpack Kid. Call Marcel. She'll help you. Okay. So what advice do you have for someone who doesn't want to get on camera? I know we talked a little bit previously about how that's a fear for everybody. What's your take on it? How do you inspire people to get on camera and be the next Backpack Kid?
Yeah, so my advice is be generous with your knowledge. And the way I got to that advice was when I was first starting video about 10 years ago, I was an ostrich. I was scared. My head was in the sand. I didn't want to play. And my friend Abram had been doing a video a day for about a year, and I'd been following him and watching him, and he was entertaining. He was dynamic. And the time I finally met him, I literally reached up and touched his shoulder, and I was like, "Oh, you're real!" Like, I had this crazy moment of like, "Oh my gosh, you're so just normal, right?"
Yeah.
But there's this moment in video that people who are watching us see like they put us kind of up on this pedestal sometimes. And anyway, so he asked me, he's like, Marcel, your business is Dreamosity. It's all about generosity. Why are you not doing video? Isn't that kind of selfish of you? And I was like,
Yeah.
oh, snap.
Oh.
That hurts. And so to me, he's like, it's not about you. It's not about how you look or how you sound. It's, are you being generous with your ideas and your message?
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, help.
Yeah.
And so I was coachable, you know, and that's the second piece of advice. Be coachable. Take a class.
Yes.
You know, learn how you can get started.
And that's so funny because I always say too, and it kind of goes back to the ask, that you are being a disservice to your clients if you do not ask for the business, because you have to help them see that you, and there could be many different things, that person's too busy, or I'm not good enough for them, or whatever the case may be. There's a lot of things, but so you're a disservice to your clients if you're not asking for that business. So same thing, you're a disservice to your clients if you don't get on video, because they're not getting to know you, you're not building that relationship, and you never get a chance to take care of them as the awesome expert that you are. So mistakes, let's talk about what you should really be careful about in mistakes when leveraging video.
Yeah, so mistake number one is people don't realize they're now in the entertainment industry. They've got to entertain, they've got to be dynamic, they've got to kind of pick up the pace a little bit and smile. Like, be an uptime, right? Don't be just boring and slow. Like, no one wants to listen to you if you're kind of boring with it. And then the second piece of advice is syndicate your content, right? Sometimes if you're a small person team, you have to get that video to get the first 10 views or 100 views. You share it in a couple of groups. You move it around, and there's different tactics to get 1,000 views or 10,000 views. And some people aren't paying attention to those numbers. And I encourage people, if you're going to do a video, whether it takes a minute or an hour to set up and to create, set a goal, have an intention. Is it to get 1,000 views or 100? But to not just do it and then set it and forget it, because that's not actually serving you either.
So, Marcel, I was talking to somebody just recently about video, and I think it's fear for this. But one of the things I've heard is, you know, how's that going to get me business? Like, you know, and I swear that's like the number one thing, right? Oh, I'm just going to get on video, and all of a sudden my phone's going to blow up. Like, you know, and I think it's kind of a way to have a story for yourself so you can kind of back away from that, and fear can take over because it clearly helps. So what would you say to somebody? How does developing a digital presence help financial advisors, or, you know, anybody, real estate agents, anybody that wants to get out there and really grow their business? Yeah,
so it helps you leverage time. And by not having to do everything all the time, if you do a video once, it can move for you, right? So I'm here today able to come, you know, meet with you great people and be on a radio show because my systems and videos are moving for you. And as you build that digital presence, you'll get, you know, 100 views a day, 1,000 views a day, or a month, and you start to have momentum with it. So you have free time to go out and actually see people face to face, to go to, you know, happy hour and to actually go close business. But if you're exhausted, it's because you don't have leverage, and the video can help you leverage your time.
Yeah.
Love it.
So you talk about results per hour. Share a little bit more about what you mean.
Yeah. So when we're starting out in our careers, we're often getting paid, you know, $12 an hour, $20 an hour, $50 an hour. But when you leverage technology, it's now about the results per hour. So whether you're talking about email marketing and you're going to email 20,000 people, you're going to get a result in that hour. Or if you get on camera or on radio and you get to communicate your message to maybe millions of people, maybe 100 people, that result, there's more results in that hour than if you just go have coffee with someone one-to-one.
Yes.
So it's just a different way of thinking it. And then if you're an athlete, you know, meal prepping, do you guys meal prep a little bit?
I try sometimes. I'm going to be doing a lot of it now
try too.
That I got to play soccer.
But that's another thing. You know, you cut up a whole bunch of vegetables and 1 hour's worth of effort, you can get 5, 6, 10 meals. So just results per hour. It's a different way to think. And I think as business owners, we can't think like an employee necessarily.
Yes. Yeah.
So Tina's going to know a lot more about this than me, the old celebrity vibe. So we talked about it a little earlier. Tell us what the celebrity vibe, what is that, and when does that start to happen? That's exciting.
So if you're in the game with video, there's a point when people start to come up with you at the grocery store, at church, and a lot of my clients will say, wow, people know me now. And it's like, good, that's working. But it's this idea that more people are going to know you than you're going to know them. And so just be prepared for that. Because again, if you're brand new to this game, you don't realize how many people are going to know your face and your voice.
Yes.
And so it's kind of exciting. And so I actually prepare people for it because it does happen as they're consistent.
Thanks for that shout out, Keelan.
Well, I'm just saying it happens all the time. They're like, oh, yeah, Tina. And I was like, oh, what am I, Scotch Miss? It's like, come on, geez Louise.
So can anyone elevate your digital influence?
I would say yes. Okay. And what I talk about is develop digital you, right? So digital Tina, digital Keelan, Digital Keelan.
See, I told you, she knows Tina.
Digital Michael, Digital Amy. And I always say, imagine.
That was awesome.
Imagine if you could out-motivate, out-train, out-sell, and out-entertain based on your digital presence. How much more profitable and generous could you be?
Yes.
So the idea, like even for me, there's real life Marcel here, but digital Marcel on the camera, you start to clone yourself, and it's just a really powerful thing.
Yeah.
So I encourage people to get in the conversation. The other thing I wanted to say about elevating your presence online is I've spoken with a lot of agents, and they're like, "Oh, branding doesn't matter," and I'm like, "That's like telling a seller that curb appeal doesn't matter.
That's
branding
crazy.
matters because it elevates." On my little audience matrix here, it takes you from rookie to expert. If you have high quality branding, you look amazing, and people trust you. And if you're sloppy and messy, questionable. Right?
So true.
So anybody can do it, though.
See, I paid her $1 about the Keelan name, just FYI.
Was that like, did you guys set that up beforehand?
Oh, yeah,
That's messed up.
We did.
Wow, could have done any better.
Marcel, thank you so much for coming into studio. It was a great honor talking with you, and just really excited about everything that you're doing.
Thank you.
And that's the show.
I guess that's it.
I'm just like tongue twisted here. And this is your host, Tina Mitchell, signing off for the day.
And your co-host, Keelan Harvey.
And your local mortgage experts will be here same time, same place next week, right here at 11:50 a.m. KKNW. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Tina Mitchell, MLO 145420, and Keelan Harvey, MLO 1330075, are licensed loan originators with Gateway Mortgage Group, LLC, and MLS 7233. The views expressed by the speakers on the preceding program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views of Gateway Mortgage Group, LLC, nor are they necessarily endorsed by Gateway Mortgage Group, LLC.